Hey guys, how's it going? DUJ2 here, and welcome back to Fortnite Save the World. And welcome to a bit of a different video. This is going to be a little bit more of a serious Let's Talk, and frankly, it's going to be a little bit more structured as well. The reason why I'm making this video is because today something happened. And there's a lot of rumors flying around that Save the World is closing, that the end of Save the World is near. Now, I'm going to say this right now, and I'm going to repeat this at the end of the video. Unless we have official news from Fortnite, from Epic Games, I'm not going to believe these just yet. But there's a lot of things that I want to say about this, including all of the rumors that people have been sending me, because I have gotten tons of DMs, emails, messages on Discord, comments on my videos, just people asking about that, comparing the game to Paragon, which we're not going to get into Paragon in this video, maybe a little bit, but I want to talk to you guys about my thoughts on this and what I think is happening right now behind the scenes at Epic and at Save the World. So, Save the World is going on 3 years being in beta. That's not really good. And we don't see a lot of the older issues being addressed. If you've been playing the game for a while now, a year, two, you know what I'm talking about. There's some major fundamental issues wrong with Save the World that need to be addressed. And I'm not talking bugs. I'm talking like some major game mechanic meta type of things. Recently, a major meta shift was announced, and well, this honestly has been received with a lot of negative backlash. Lots of people claiming that they're not listening to the community, claiming that they are trying to change the game, and instead of focusing on certain important factors, which I have to agree on this, they're just focusing on other stuff in the game that has nothing to do with having to fix the game. Instead of focusing on the things that are actually broken in the game or are very wrong with the game, they're focusing all this time and attention and money on fixing other things that don't really matter. Now, I'm not going to get into this video about what I believed about the meta shift or the whole trap tunnel thing or smashers. I have another series. You guys know I'm doing another series on videos on the meta shift talking about that. This video, I want to talk about just the factor, the concept of Save the World closing now or soon. We've also seen some very odd and widespread issues within Save the World in the past couple of weeks, and these are bugs. Just some very weird things, some weird things that you wouldn't really think should be happening, and equally these also have been appearing in Battle Royale and creative as well. So it's been server-wide issues. Now, these could be because of the meta shift. It could be that they're just trying to, shift things around and move things around and trying to keep major changes secret. And we've seen this in a way because of the incredibly giant amount of weapons that have been nerfed or slightly buffed. We've also seen so many heroes that are not properly working, and that's been going on for a while. But maybe it isn't till now, when we're having to try so many more different ways of playing the game, that we're realizing that so many more heroes really are not working the way they should, or some weapons at all. Take, for example, the new compression bow. I love it. I'm afraid that there's a mistake with it, because the amount of damage I've been able to get out of it and the consistency of it is far beyond anything else. It is quickly becoming one of my favorite weapons. But I'm very afraid that very soon they're going to have an update saying, hey, by the way, the compression bow is not working the way it should. We're going to have to reset it or change it. It's possible. Excuse me. if they've announced a total meta shift, more than likely the game will drastically change. And it's possible the game will have changes that will affect gameplay even greater than the hero loadout and UI changes did. If you guys remember those changes were drastic, they were huge, but they were awesome. But that's what a meta change, revamp, shift means. It means that the game will potentially be unrecognizable to former players. This happens a lot in beta games, guys. A lot of times there's beta games that they progress, and they reach a point where they're like, you know what, we just can't keep going down this road, and they scrap giant amounts of the game and come back completely different. A game that has this is a game that I really enjoyed when it first came out. You know, and now I can't even remember the game of it. But it's a game where it's a map with robots. I can't remember the name of the game now. I played it when it first came out. I actually worked with the developers when it first came out. And I loved certain aspects of the game, but there were huge aspects of the game that really needed to be worked on. About 8 months into development, they shut down the game, kind of. They closed off the game. They went back to the drawing book, and they came back with a completely different game. It looks so different. It still has certain factors and certain, you know, things from before, but it's a drastically different game now. And that's what happens. That's what can happen with beta games. I don't think that this game that's gonna happen to Save the World. I don't think that Save the World is gonna have that much of a drastic change, because there's so many elements that are integrated into creative and battle royale that are the same in Save the World. They're all shared. But it's possible that we'll see many things that we are used to in Save the World change completely, like we kind of already have with the fact that trap tunnels are being kind of phased out, and excuse me, and a lot of different things that we have seen before are just completely being changed. I have to bring up Paragon at this point, and because Paragon, I feel like the Paragon instance was very different. It was developed in a different way. The resources set into it were different. The communication, and they had actually more communication, and the sudden decision to end Paragon that we now know is because they were shifting resources within the company to something else. And should they have completely closed the game like Paragon, which had such huge potential? No, I don't think they should. But you know, that's Epic's prerogative. They can pretty much do whatever they want with their game. And in the end, we have to realize that Fortnite Save the World is a game that's still in beta. At any time, they can pull the plug. At any time, without warning, they can drastically change things, especially if they decide to move resources to a new game or project. But that's the thing, change is good, guys. It really is. A game can't and shouldn't stay in beta forever. My main concern with these rumors is the why. We need to look at why would Save the World close. It's an awesome, huge, very well developed game up to Canny Valley. I've said this many times. Stonewood, Plankerton, Canny, amazing, incredible experience. The second you step foot in Twine Peaks, everything just goes out the window. You can progress in Canny, being being a solid level 70 at the end of Canny Valley means you can do everything well. The second you step into Twine Peaks, it's a whole different world. Just your entire reality gets so changed, and you become so fixated on having level 130s, on being able to do things on 140, on just maxing everything out, maxing out your parallel, maxing out everything without any reasonable storyline or anything that will help you get to there and potentially beyond. Higher levels, different areas. It has some big holes, yeah. Save the World has some huge holes and bugs, but overall, I think it's pretty awesome. There's been so many players that have purchased the game in the past, the upgrade packs, the V-Bucks, and Save the World. So if Save the World were to close, would they do a total refund like they did for Paragon? Which also has to bring me to the fact that right now we're in a sale. So what would they do? That would they just wait till the sale ends and then immediately tell people, I'm sorry, we're closing the game, here's your money back? it's a very interesting question there. But that does bring me to the main reason of why I think Save the World would close or could close, and that's money. It's all about money. It always is. Epic is a business. Save the World needs to generate income. That's how Epic sees us, and we need to understand that. Epic and pretty much every developer sees you as a number, a dollar symbol on a page or on a column or in a row. Nothing more. We shouldn't fool ourselves into thinking that we mean more to Epic. I'm talking about Epic, the company, than that, because we don't. Just like, and for the devs, we might mean something differently, but we need to realize that the devs don't really know or really interact with us either. That's what community managers are for. We know the communication we get from Epic, everywhere. Any communication like that is mostly from the community managers. I think one of them is Magist, and I forget what the other one's name is. I know there might be another one. But they're the liaison. They're the ones who are, they're the bridge between the community and the developers and the company. But we don't really get to interact with the devs. Look at what happened also, the developer blogs that we used to get on YouTube from the developers. Those we haven't had anymore. We don't have any more developer blogs or anything like that, where the developers are directly telling us kind of what they're working on and wanting to hear the feedback. Now there is no communication like that. And some people might say, well, that's a sign of a game, dying or something. And no, I know games that have been going on for many years still and going strong that have, and that actually the community manager aspect is what saved the game, because the companies were used to hearing such negative stuff, but it's because they were only hearing that overwhelming response, and the people who actually cared about the game or wanted to see it improve didn't think that they were being heard, so they didn't bother in trying to say anything. Community managers are a great thing, but they can also be a very negative thing if they're not understanding what they're trying to do there or what needs to be done for the community and for the developers. But if you can imagine if a developer would put themselves out there, I mean, it would be horrible. It would be really bad if a developer were to put themselves out there and be like, hey, give me your best shot about Save the World. You guys know what it would be there. It would be a lot of negative. And if you love doing something day in and day out and that's all you hear, you wouldn't really be that encouraged to continue, would you? But anyways, I was saying, the money, the recent sale for Save the World. It's the first time in over a year they've actually promoted the sale. It's crazy. And I think that they did tweets for this one. They did a splash screen. It was in the news too, and all that promo. So as we're getting close to the sale, I think that Epic is actually going to look at those numbers, and if they weren't good, they would be like, well, what's the point of continuing developing this game if it's not bringing in the money or the numbers we want? And I know, Save the World was the top selling DLC in the final quarter for, I think it was PS4 or something. Please correct me if I'm wrong, in 2019. But that's not the same. I've said this many times before. Save the World is not, it's not well monetized. And I have to compare this because a lot of people, whenever I speak about this, say, oh, you're just trying to make them, get money out of us. And well, it's a business. That's what they do. I mean, look at Battle Royale. No one complains about the fact that Battle Royale, if you were to buy everything new that comes in Battle Royale all the time and to have every single skin, every single pick, every single music, every single emote, everything, how many tens of thousands of dollars would you have spent already? And that's just cosmetics. Those are just cosmetics. Those in no way, shape, or form help you improve your game. They just make you look good. Whereas in Save the World, you could have, as I said before, my main idea has been for generating revenue and generating income for Save the World to make gold purchasable or expand the shop. And by that, I mean, there's a lot of people who, you have to understand that you have either time or money. Very few times do people have time and money. You either have time or you have money. You don't have a job, you get to play 8-10 hours a day, or you have a job, you're grinding really hard, but you're getting paid for it. So at the end of the day, you want to unwind. Both sides are They're both sides are are free to explore that however they want, and they both have a right to fun as well. So if someone who has a really good paying job comes home from a really stressed day, wants to sit down and just play for an hour their favorite game, but they realize that they have to grind for 14 hours just to be able to get something and level it up fully, they might be very inclined to just walk away from the game and find something else. Candy Crush or something like that they can just play really fast. So if they were to monetize that, and I'm saying gold and tickets actually, because just by getting golden tickets, which the only way to get those right now is through time in the game, you can get everything in the game. So if you were to monetize it in the sense of buy V-Bucks with real money, then you can spend those V-Bucks on gold or tickets, and then you could buy llamas or items in the shop, because if you could expand the shop to include more things with gold, let's say evolution materials, perk up, materials in general, if you just had them, if you just had like a Moogle shop, just there available for everyone, that everyone could buy everything they really need from it. You just need to either get gold from spending time in the game or by spending V-Bucks for it. Either way, I believe it would be really good for the game, for progressing in the game. And that money could go back into developing the game. It could go back into fixing bugs, adding major content, etc., etc. So I kind of feel like that would be a good resource for the game if they were looking to monetize, because right now, apart from buying the basic game, and if you really want to buy llamas, which I don't recommend to do it, and this is the thing, I'm sitting here saying, all of this, but at the same time, I'm going to tell you guys, if you're going to buy Save the World, just buy the basic version. Do not buy any of the extra ones. They're not worth it. Save your money. Don't buy llamas. Play the game, get gold, get tickets, open llamas. You don't need to spend money on this game apart from the initial $20 during a sale to enjoy the game fully. Yes, you'll get little cosmetic stuff and all that, and if that's important to you, and if you need it, like it was for me, then of course, go ahead and do it. But I tell people this so that they don't say, hey, I was swindled, you told me to buy all this, and it didn't help me at all. If you want to see the game progress and grow, yeah, that's a way of helping it. And I mean, of course, that's because all in all, I feel that Save the World is an amazing game. I love it. I love playing it. I enjoy every day I get to stream and play with viewers and make content for it. I'd be very sad if it were to close, and I have a hard time believing it'll shut down just like that. Perhaps they would stop developing it, or maybe it'll be pushed to free to play the way it is, and they'll see what happens. There are still a lot of players for Fortnite in general, and we do have to acknowledge that if it wasn't for the success of Battle Royale, it's very possible Save the World would have shut down by now. Long ago, actually. Battle Royale exploded and drew so much attention to it that Epic, of course, had to redirect resources to expand it. And yeah, I think that part of it was maybe Save the World would have had different development or different level development. But I have to acknowledge it, guys. I do have to say, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know this, that if Battle Royale had never shown up, how many people would have really discovered Save the World? How many people would have really been playing Save the World? And would Save the World have just become like Paragon, where an amazing game didn't really have that much attention, so it would have just been closed off long ago? I have to say that. I do firmly believe that if it wasn't for Battle Royale, Save the World probably wouldn't be here right now. But of course, we can't deny that there are a lot of bugs and issues with Save the World, and some of these can make the game unplayable at times. So at this point, it'd be positive to see Save the World either get a major revamp, which is what I believe is happening right now with the current meta shift. Even though they're not presenting it to us properly, we just think that they're randomly changing things when obviously they have a much bigger plan, but they're not communicating that with us. Or the game may just drift off and no longer be updated until it gets closed. Or perhaps it'll just be shut down like that, like Paragon. Who knows? But I do think the important thing to remember is, unless we get official news, like I said at the beginning, not to be worried or stressed out about the rumors we hear. And If the meta shift is intended to take Save the World into 2020, free to play in 2020, or something else, an integration with Battle Royale creative, who knows, that we should keep an open mind. Try to learn the new game, give it a chance, see if we like it and it's fun. And if it's not, I guarantee you guys, I'm not going to play it. And that's just what I've done, and I've done this with many games before. At a certain point, if a game is no longer fun for me to make content on it, I don't make content anymore. I may keep playing the game, and then at that point, if the game one day no longer brings me joy and is no longer fun to play, I stop playing it. That's the nature of games. And I would really hope that I could convey that focus to you guys. It's a game. This is just a game. It's supposed to be fun. And if it's not, there's no reason to continue investing time, effort, or money into it. I hope this talk sort of helps explain what I'm thinking. I know a lot of people have been asking that, and like I said at the beginning, I do want to thank you guys for your communication. I know that a lot of people initially hearing about the potential of Save the World closing were very angry, very hurt, and I've seen a lot of people say a lot of things, and you know what? I have to agree with some, and I have to very firmly disagree with some. I hope we get some more communication. I really do. And I hope that we can all enjoy this game. It is an awesome game. I really enjoy it. It's an incredible game. And I'm going to keep playing it. I'm going to keep playing it for as long as I can, and as long as it's fun for me to play. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.